Alright guys, welcome back to the Q&A. We're going to move on to part 2 now. And we're going to go with Mount Vernon Kid, and he asked me 17 questions. Now I know I asked a maximum of 10 questions, but I'm going to overlook it since I asked him a buttload of questions over the years, so I think it's only fair that I let it slide, I'm going to let it slide. He's such a close friend of mine. His first question is, should the Lizard be in the Spider-Man reboot film? I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind the Lizard at all. I really think it's a good start, but I still want Electro. It's either Electro or the Lizard at this point for me. I really want one of those two as the first villain. But yeah, I wouldn't mind the Lizard. Not at all. Your second question is, why are the Secret Avengers a secret? I don't know. I mean, it's not like they do anything really secret. I mean, they had that big battle in Beijing, or in, China against the Shadow Council and Fu Manchu, Shang-Chi's father. So, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting, but, it's not like, it's kind of weird, too, because I've always wanted to bring this up when we're talking. You know how, when everyone found out about the Illuminati during the Infinity Gauntlet stuff that's going on in Avengers, and then Steve said, told Tony, you're off the Avengers when this is all over. But then it's kind of weird that, I always thought that, wait, Steve, you've got your own team of secret heroes too, so you're kind of being a hypocrite. That's kind of weird, but I don't know. I mean, why should it be a secret group? I mean, even Eric O'Grady, when he was working with Iron Fist, he said, I'm part of a Covert Ops Avengers group, and Iron Fist just shrugged it off. So, why call them the Secret Avengers? I mean, what's to hide? They're not like they're off killing people. But, let's move on. Your third question is, did you enjoy the movie Hancock? I love that movie. I really do. As one person I once heard say, it's a graphic novel one of the best graphic novels that was never written. It's really good, and I'm really hoping they pull through it for a sequel. I really enjoyed this movie. Will Smith plays a great superhero, anti-superhero. It's basically how my dad always says, it's basically a homeless Superman, and how he adjusts to the world. That's how he always saw it, and it's a really good analogy if you think about it. But yeah, I love that movie. Your fourth question is, are you going to read the new Venom ongoing? Maybe. I'm going to give it a solid maybe. I'm going to see if I can find issue 1 and not do a review if I can't. I'll read it, and if I don't like it, I'm not going to read it. It all depends on first issue, because I didn't get to read the .1 issue. So it all depends on that. Your fifth question is, what other heroes can Will Smith play in your opinion? Well, I always thought, I know you want Terry Crews to play Luke Cage, but I just thought Will Smith could play a really good Luke Cage, in my opinion. I think he could really pull that off. I also thought he could really play Jon Stewart. I think he could pull off a young Jon Stewart. I mean, look at Ryan Reynolds, he's pretty young too, and, why not have him he can play a serious role. Jon Stewart's pretty serious. I also think he can play Steel, John Henry Irons. I think he could really pull off being Steel. But yeah, that's just to name a few. Oh, and one more, before I forget. I think he could really do a fantastic job as Mr. Terrific. I think he could be a really cool Mr. Terrific. Your sixth question. Could a lightsaber withstand the force of a DBZ energy blast? I'm going to say no, because a DBZ energy blast is like, some of them that the Dragon Ball Z characters can use are like these gigantic beams, and I don't think a single saber could block all of it, so I'm going to say no on that. Your seventh question is, have you played the game Bully? I never have. I never saw an appeal to it, because I heard good things about it, but I've never played it. If I find it, like, on a DVD rack or something, not a DVD, a video game rack, well, I'll probably play it from there. But as it stands now, I haven't. Your eighth question is, who is your favorite Star Wars character? Well, I have several. Of course, Darth Vader and Boba Fett, those are my top two. Darth Maul, especially from the comics. Han Solo. And one of the characters that is going to be in Clone Wars, Chewbacca. I can't wait. I'm one of those people who can't wait for Chewbacca to be in the Star Wars Clone Wars series. I think it's really cool. So I can't wait for that. But yeah, your ninth question is, what is the worst movie you ever saw? I'm gonna straight up tell you, there are a bunch. I mean, Dragon Wars for one. Dragon Wars, Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. This little low budget movie called Monster. The first Hulk movie. Spider-Man 3. You know, a lot of movies. You know, you and I have talked about over the phone and whatnot. A lot of those movies I hate. Your 10th question is, do you watch the show 1,000 Ways to Die? Yeah, I'm not an avid fan, but whenever it's on. Now, one of my friend's girlfriend, or fiance I should say, one of my best friend's, his fiance, currently, she loves that show. She's a fanatic, and you know, whenever she's over and 1,000 Ways to Die is on, she always tells us, you know, me and my brother, we should watch 1,000 Ways to Die, and we do. And I think it's pretty interesting. Some of it's kind of, I know some of these are like really weird and bad ways to die, so, yeah. More or less, yeah, but I'm not an avid watcher, but it's because some of the stuff makes me cringe, honestly. A lot of that stuff I'm like, oh, that's nasty. But yeah, I do watch it. Anyway, your next question is He-Man versus Namor. That is a good fight. That is really close. I want to say I'm going to give it to He-Man if he can keep Namor out of the water. I'm going to give it to He-Man if he can keep Namor out of the water, because Namor's strength is going to fade the longer he stays out of water. So I'm going to give it to He-Man. Sorry, I'm a Namor fan, but you know, I got to look at the facts. If you could talk to Stan Lee, your 12th question is, if you could talk to Stan Lee for an hour, what would you talk about? I don't know. I'd ask him, you know, were you ever afraid that Spider-Man was gonna, or any of your other creations, or the creations you and, you know, Jack Kirby and other people have created, is there always like, are you always scared that these characters are gonna fail and you're not gonna get the comics? And did you ever think they're gonna be legends? Did you ever? I'd also ask him, has there been any other characters you regret not making? Has there also, you know, have you ever wanted to, you know, write movies? I'd ask him that, and, you know, just stuff that most fans ask. But yeah, that's the majority of it. Your 13th question is, how cool was it for the Trinity to work together for the first time? Well, for those who don't know, me, Ziploc Gory, and the Mount Vernon Kid all worked together and did a 5-part video on his channel. You can probably still find it on there. And we just talked about what makes a good hero. And we just talked, and it was fantastic, dude. You know, honestly, I loved it. I know Victor loved it. It was just a fantastic thing. I really enjoy it. I'd really love to do it again. What I don't know. We need to find another subject that you, me, and Victor can work on and do it all over again, because that was great. I loved it. And for those who don't know, we're referred to as the Trinity. So, okay, your 14th question is, who do you think is the sexiest, most beautiful woman in comics? Well, like I said in Victor's question, Catwoman. Enough said about that, because I already spoke about it. Your 15th question is, do you think Luke Cage and Jessica Jones' daughter, Danielle, will inherit her powers as she gets older? I'm convinced. I'm convinced she's going to have superpowers in the future. I mean, both her parents have superpowers. They're incredibly strong, so, you know, why can't their child? And double goes for Moon Knight's future child. I'm pretty sure he's going to learn to control the Iron Fist. He might be the next Iron Fist in the future, so we might get a Iron Fist and Power Girl in the future comics. So That'll be cool. Uh, oh, I'm sorry, I lost track. Okay, your 16th question is who who has the worst powers in comics? One guy. I don't know if you know him, but he's from the Legion of Superheroes comics. Arm Fall Off Boy. I'm not kidding you. This is the real name of a real superhero. Arm Fall Off Boy. And like his name suggests, all his powers are is that his arms can fall off, and that's it. That's it. His arms fall off. That's all. And your 17th question is, are you ready for Sucker Punch? Oh, hell yeah, I am super ready for Sucker Punch, you know? I am just totally pumped for it. I can't wait. The movie looks fantastic. The more trailers I see, the more I want to watch it. I can't wait. It's going to be just this fantastic it's just going to be a balls to the wall movie in my opinion. I just can't wait. So thank you for the questions, Mount Vernon Kid, my brother from we're gonna move on to actually, you know what? I'm gonna come back and we're gonna move on from there to the next few questions. So I'll see you all then.